What is up? Coach Emma here, and welcome back to the Fit Habit Life podcast, where we cut through the noise, talk real health and fitness, sustainable fat loss, and habits that actually work. So, today on this episode, we'll be talking about a spicy topic: tracking macros and calories. But before we dig in, just wanted to say, if you guys are listening to this, I really, really appreciate it. For all of you Fit Habit Lifers out there, there's probably only one of you, but appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. And if you could share this with your friends, family members who you think this would resonate with, that would really, really help me get the word out there, help more people, and remove all the fitness bullshit and just kind of debunk it for people so people don't have to go through the same crap that I went through. So thank you. Now back to the episode. So, is tracking macros disordered? Short answer, no. It is not disordered at all, and it's actually super beneficial, and I think most people should do it at least once in their life. Most people should do it and cycle in and out of doing it, but I'll explain why. So for the longest time, I thought tracking macros was disordered. But really what it is, it's like having a budget. Like tracking how much money you're spending. Right? That's not disordered. You have a budget, and so you need to be aware of how much of that budget you're utilizing. Right? That's the same with food. And actually, what I've noticed is when people do start to track, they start to make better decisions. They start to pick healthier food options. They start to realize that that bowl of ice cream every night maybe isn't serving them as much as they thought. Not that you can't ever eat a bowl of ice cream, but if you're having one every night and it's like 500 plus calories and you're struggling to lose body fat and you start tracking, well, you're like, hey, what the heck? This is probably what's keeping me stuck. And then you can adjust and make some changes, and maybe you have it every other night, or maybe you decrease the portion size. What tracking macros has also helped me and a lot of my clients kind of break through is that you have to eat 100% clean whole foods all the time. While most of your diet should be comprised of unprocessed whole foods like meat, fruits, vegetables, potatoes, rice, those sort of foods that I always talk about, food is not just fuel. And there are other benefits of food. And tracking your macros allows you to fit in some of those fun foods, some of those fun events with family and friends. Like for the longest time, I would avoid going out to eat with family members or friends or other things because the foods on the menu didn't fit my quote unquote weird restrictions like paleo, low carb, no carb, whatever crap I was following at the time. Actually, tracking macros allowed me to see I can actually have a piece of pizza and have a beer with my friends on a Friday night, and it won't derail all my progress. In fact, it helped me break free from that binge and restrict kind of mindset, because I wouldn't allow myself to eat certain foods because they were quote unquote bad, when in reality, I could have eaten them on occasion. But when I remove them completely, when I would have access to them, I would severely overdo it. A good example of that is beer. There was a really good tap house where my husband lived when we were in California. And so we'd go there. And I'd always tell myself, I can't have beer. and then we'd go and have beer, and I'd have too much beer. Then I'd feel like crap the next day and try to overdo it on exercise to quote unquote make up for the calorie burn. And then I'd restrict, and then I'd do it again the next week because, I can't eat this food. I can't fit it into my quote unquote clean diet. Whereas had I just said, hey, like, I can have a beer whenever I want, but I understand that, like, hey, it doesn't always serve me, given my goals, given the amount of calories it is, given its low nutrient dense profile, but still on occasion I can cycle it in and it won't derail my overall progress. So a lot of my clients notice is tracking not only helps you make better decisions, but also helps you break free from that restrictive mindset. Additionally, you cannot, how do I put this? If you're not, like for a budget financially, if you're like, I don't understand why I'm broke, but you're not tracking your finances, or even for business, I don't understand why I'm not getting new clients, but you're not tracking your conversations, you're not tracking your amount of output, you're not tracking your booked calls, you're not tracking your sales calls, you're not tracking things and then making tweaks on them, then to me it's like, well, that's why. Like, a lot of people are quote unquote eating clean, right? Eating quote unquote whole foods. Or at least they think they are, for the most part. But they've never tracked their calories before. So they don't even know how much food they're eating on a regular basis. And I mean, that's like step one. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, and I'll probably do another episode of how to lose weight without tracking. But I mean, if you don't know how much you're eating and you're like, I don't understand why I can't lose weight, well, that's probably why, right? It's like, if you don't know, how do you make adjustments and changes that are calculated and precise? That's another reason why, like, tracking your macronutrients and tracking your calories, that is the fastest way to lose weight sustainably. And to lose weight the right way, I firmly believe. At the beginning, if you're, eating a very processed food diet, you're not drinking enough water, you're not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables or fiber, making those simple changes and increasing your protein intake, reducing processed foods, increasing fruits and vegetables, increasing your water intake, reducing your consumption of soda and other high-calorie beverages, you're going to start to lose weight. But the reason for that is you're eating less calories than you're consuming. And those are easy wins, right? But if you're in a more advanced, i.e., like you eat primarily whole foods, you exercise regularly, and you just don't understand, but you're not tracking, you don't even know how much food you're consuming on a regular basis, well, that is probably why. So tracking is super important, and it's not disorder. Like I said, it's like keeping a budget. The one caveat is, if you have struggled with an eating disorder in the past, it can trigger that for some people. But that means you should probably still be working with a clinical therapist or dietitian to help you break through those barriers. Because there was a point, as I said, I thought tracking was disordered, but really what it's allowed me to do is allowed me to free myself and improve my relationship to food because I was that person who could only eat clean, but then I'd overdo it. And I'd wonder why I wasn't seeing progress. And it wasn't because, tracking was disordered or I tracked and it didn't work for me. No, I just wasn't actually tracking things that mattered, and I was hyper fixated on the foods I was eating, but not the portion sizes of those foods and the calorie contents of those foods. Once I started tracking too, I thought I was having a tablespoon or 2 of peanut butter every morning. I was having like 4 or 5. That's like 400 to 500 calories of peanut butter right there. And so it's like when you start tracking, it's like, oh, even though I was eating whole foods, even though I was eating quote unquote clean, I couldn't lose weight because I was not eating in a calorie deficit. I was eating an obscene amount of peanut butter every day. And that's when I was a D1 athlete and I was working out 4 or 5 hours a day, right, with walking to and from class, 3 to 4 hours in the pool, maybe 1 hour lift here and there. I could eat that much because I couldn't keep weight on my body. But then when I graduated and water polo ended, I could not eat 500 calories of peanut butter every morning because my energy output changed. So anyway, I kind of went all over the place in this one, but essentially tracking your macros and tracking your calories is the fastest and most efficient way to get the results that you want. And it's not disordered. It's only disordered if you make it disordered. It's a tool. It's like budgeting your finances. And in fact, it can actually be very freeing, as I said before, because once you start tracking, you're like, oh, I can actually include an Oreo or 2 every day. I could have a handful of chips here and there. I can have a beer once a week. That's not going to kill me. And it allows you to plan. It allows you to pre-plan your meals to make sure that you're fueling your body enough. You're getting enough protein. You're getting enough fiber. And that's another underrated thing. Like, as an athlete, I wish I had tracked my calories. Obviously, I didn't need to because I was crazy active. But I probably would have performed better in my sport had I been more deliberate about the amount of carbohydrates I was consuming and when I was consuming them. And tracking could have enabled me to do that in a better way. Additionally, this is the last tangent I'll go off of. Tracking not only your macronutrients, but if you're using an app like Chronometer, which I highly recommend, you can notice and track your micronutrient and electrolyte levels as well. So if you are experiencing, anything that you deem as not quote unquote normal, starting to track your food and look at your micronutrient levels can help you identify where are areas in your diet you can improve to help optimize your health and your metabolic function. So really, I think most people should do it. You don't need to do it forever. And it's a tool. So it's only disordered if you make it disordered. So anyway, hope you guys got something out of this one today. As you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about this topic. So please share this with someone you think needs to hear it or someone you think might benefit from it. And please like and rate and subscribe my show. That helps me get in front of more people, which again, I'm trying to debunk fitness bullshit and just help people take charge of their own health and actually achieve sustainable results for life. So thank you so much for listening today. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.